Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. I have a cute birthday card featuring Spellbinders Serve A Slice and delicious decorations. So this is definitely for the person who can't make up their mind which kind of pie they like best. This cute spinner card was made with no specialty dies. It is easy, easy, easy. The Serve A Slice die set couldn't be any more perfect for this fun interactive card. There was a bit of die cutting and I did that off camera. To create the spinner mechanism, I die cut 2 circles from Bristol Smooth cardstock. One was 3.5 inches in diameter and the other one 1 inch. The circle was divided roughly into thirds and then masked off simply with Post-it note tape. I then used a blender brush to apply each color. And yes, I started off with pink and changed it to red pie filling. The Serve A Slice die set comes with lots of fun dies to make a variety of pies. For this card, I will be working with these 3. This slice of pie is going to be nestled into a background of many of these delicious decorations. I didn't quite use all of these dies, but pretty close. There were lots of decorations and they were colored up very quick and easy with the blender brush. One I'm working on now is an apple slice. The peel is colored red, the inside of the apple is colored with an antique linen to give it just a slight yellowy color. And then there are the little itty bitty seeds. I just took one of my black stamp pads and gave it a rub on top of them. I am absolutely notorious for losing little die cuts. So as soon as I had finished inking them, I used my jewel picker and popped them right back into the apple slice. The 2 die cuts that will form the pie crust were colored with Distress Oxide inks, Antique Linen, and Vintage Photo. I then used Nuvo's Crystal Glaze and put a coating on top of the pie and the rolled edge. It was finished off with a sprinkling of chunky glitter. Because of course the most delicious pies are glazed with a sugar coating. Put this spinner together, I have 2 pieces of cardstock that are card front size, 4 inches by 5.25 inches. One of the panels was die cut with the pie filling die in the top of the lower half of the card. I used a craft pick to make a hole in the center of both of the circles. A small brad is pushed through the hole of the small circle and then onto the larger one. In order for the circle to smoothly spin, the small circle needs to be elevated but adhered to the lower panel. I'm placing small foam squares all the way around it. The panel with the die cut is used to help position the circle on the lower panel. So now that I have a rough idea where it's going to be placed, I'm going to remove the backing off of my foam squares. I place my die cut panel over top of the circle and then line up the upper panel with the lower one and press. Now an opening needs to be created on the upper panel so that the circle can be turned. I'm using a small circle die, but before I die cut, I make sure that where I'm going to be placing my opening, it is going to be aligned with the circle underneath the panel. Next, I'm going to start decorating the card front. I begin by laying out the 2 die cuts that form the pie crust around the opening on the panel. I first adhere the die cut with the rolled pie crust edge to the pie top and then onto the panel. A number of the decorations that I'm going to create my background with have a number of die cuts, so I'm going to put all of those together first. Once I have all these bits and pieces put together, the pile of die cuts becomes much more manageable. As usual, if any of the products grab your attention and you want further information, you'll find links in the description of this YouTube video or on my blog at bonniecarolee.com. The happy birthday sentiment is from Laird Mix and Match Sentiments. To easily ink up these two-tone sentiments, the die cut is placed back into the cardstock that it was die cut from. The bottom of the word is colored in red and the top half in pink. To avoid making a mess on my card front, I apply small dots of glue to the back of the sentiment and then tap it off on paper towel before adhering it. All of those cute decorations are first laid out on the card before they are adhered. And predictably, all of those little apple seeds fell out of the die cut, and I didn't lose one, not this time. So after the apple slices are adhered, I put in a little dab of glue and use my jewel picker to pop those seeds in place. And now that the card front is complete, well, more or less, it is time to pop it onto the bottom panel with the spinner. So just a reminder that that small circle that is underneath the large spinning one has been popped up with dimensionals. So now the upper card front also needs to be elevated so that the spinning mechanism is not impeded. I like to have a nice neat edge, so I'm going to be using foam tape. The foam tape is too wide for the top of my card, so first of all I make sure that it's not going to interfere with the spinning wheel, and then I carefully trim off all of the excess. And I have enough room at the bottom of my card to add in an additional strip of foam. To ensure that the foam is going to be flush with the edge of the panel, I always cut from the back, pushing the blade of my scissors right up against the panel's edge. Whenever I cut foam adhesive, I always manage to get adhesive on my scissors, and so I clean them off with a product called Undo. To align my card front with the back panel, I remove the backing on just one of the foam strips. I align it at the top of the panel, then remove the backing off of the other two strips and finish adhering it. The card front was mounted to an A2 size card base that had been matted with black construction paper. Some frills were added to the center of the flowers. I also used a white gel pen to add in some highlights on the cherries and the hearts. The card was finished up with red confetti topped with Nouveau Crystal Drops Morning Dew. This is a fun and easy interactive card to make, and it is perfectly suited to Spellbinders Serve A Slice and Delicious Decorations die sets. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate your visit.